or that little restaurant thing
Mm-hmm.
where we stopped.
And there was a hotel there too.
I guess there was. Huh?
That was all part of it, yeah.
We stopped every
We're
day.
going.
Okay, you're going.
We're live.
Yeah,
Say something, dogs.
live from here.
Got a Coca-Cola and a
Joey, say something.
bag of peanuts when we got off the bus every day. Yum.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Salted peanuts and
Well, I always like to put the peanuts in the
in the
Coke.
Coke, yeah.
The
You
salt and
shook it.
sugar together, yeah.
Foamy, disgusting, perfect.
Yeah, so, and then, so Ross lived behind us. Harry lived the next block over. David Turley was just right down the street from us. Diane lived next door. And then Mickey, and I think her name was Shirley. And then there was another guy named Doug that actually lived on the highway part.
Well, you remember more kids than I do.
Well, they were my age,
Yeah.
you know, and so
You had a little
and we
gang.
hung out, and I
Like
mean,
I only remember Betty and Linda.
oh yeah, oh right, I forgot
Betty
that.
Reeves
Yeah,
and Linda. And then they had a big brother, and his name was.
oh I didn't know that.
His name was, I don't remember, but they also had a sister. She was an older sister who had died of cancer. She
Oh
was-
really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
bone cancer. And when we met them, they had lost her. She had
Oh.
died, and they had to have her legs amputated and all kinds of awful things.
Oh, my gosh.
She went through horrible cancer. Said,
I
and she
remember
was a
Linda.
girl.
I thought she was hot.
She was, darn it. She was like a little snot, but she was just as cute as
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be. She was, and she dressed like a little doll. She did. And her sister Betty, of course, you knew Betty. from
Yeah,
Kenny.
right. Well, now didn't Kenny and Betty and Kenny's buddy, I guess his name was Peanuts, and Linda, didn't they go to prom together or something? Or was that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they 4 people in a Corvette.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Four people in a bed.
Yeah.
Four poor people in a bed. Yeah. And well, this is boring to you, but in that day and age, we girls sewed our own prom dresses.
Yeah.
We had yards and yards of taffeta and yards of net,
Yeah, yeah.
and we would sew our own dresses. I can't believe we did that.
Well, and
Strapless.
weren't you a cheerleader?
And I was a cheerleader.
And you guys made all your own stuff?
And we made our own pom-poms and stuff like that
Yeah.
that we had to have, but they
Yeah.
gave us, they loaned us the uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we made all of our other stuff, and then we had we would want to make money, so we would make popcorn balls
Mm-hmm.
and wrap them all up in
Yeah, and wax paper.
boxes, huge boxes full.
Yeah.
And take them to school and sell them for a dime a piece. You know, it's a fortune, we thought. I wonder how much money we really made. Not that it mattered. Didn't
You were much more involved in school activities than I was. Way more.
Yeah, I was involved in school.
Well, I think that was your escape.
Oh,
You know.
are you thinking, you think?
It was just another place for me to be. I could escape on the
Oh.
street corner, you know. I was good with that, but
Well,
yeah.
that was important. Importante, muy. Are you good? You
Huh?
comfy at all?
Yeah, I just want to turn more instead of
Okay.
leaning over all the time. Yeah. I never did make it to a prom. I remember one year I was going to go. and Mom even took one of Ray's suit and tailored it so it would fit me, so I could go to the prom. And I chickened out and never asked a girl to
You
go.
didn't ask a girl. I
Yeah.
thought that would be
Yeah.
a thing that.
I mean, I knew who I wanted to ask, but I was just terrified to ask her. I couldn't bring myself. Did you watch the Harry Potter movies?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the one, when they had the Triwizard Tournament and they had a ball? That was the big culmination of the social activities.
Oh.
And how Harry and Ron couldn't bring themselves to ask anybody.
Oh,
That's how I felt.
that was you.
I thought, I understand that.
Oh, I relate, huh?
So, yeah, that was a strange deal. It's one of the few things I wish it's like if I could have overs. That'd be fun to have that one over.
Yeah. Yeah, it is funny because when you think, someone can say to you, well, it's not all that, the prom isn't all that.
Yeah, right.
But it is when you want to go.
Yeah.
The prom is that when you want to go.
And then Jim and I meeting each other, and then we became fast friends. We were living in Hinckley when I met him.
You were he was in, where was he? And you were in Hinckley and he was way far away.
He lived, no, not too far from Spess. His dad, Jake, was managing a ranch or a farm there.
Yeah, but I thought it was way on the other side, like around toward Baker in there.
No, that was later.
Oh, later. Okay.
Yeah. When I lived with him, that's where they lived, out there.
Oh, right, because I remember going out to drop you off or pick you up or something, and you were way out in there.
Well, I did do a summer job where I lived. I got room and board plus $100 a month to help on this ranch.
Uh-huh.
And that was way out there too,
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, that was something, huh? You were a little kid. How did we ever let you do that?
How
did your parents let you do that?
I don't know.
I mean,
I was a
were they not
teenager.
being parents?
Yeah.
Could it be?
No, they were kind of like going, phew.
Yeah.
Don't
Send
have
him
to-
off to the other side of the county.
But and then, Jim and I, that's how we made our spending money too.
Yeah.
He did more interesting things, I think, than just about anybody. His dad and mother were living on this, what used to be a chicken ranch. So Jim decided to contact one of the companies that hires you out to raise chickens. You get them when they're this big, and then you raise them till they're fryer size.
Uh-huh.
And so he made arrangements. He raised 10,000 chickens. I forgot how much money he made on it, but
Oh my
not a lot, but
gosh.
some. But they provide the chickens and the feed, and all you got to do is house them, take care of them,
Make
and then
sure
turn
they
them
don't
back.
get sick and then
Yeah.
turn back in.
So
Oh my gosh.
I remember going out there and helping him with the chickens at night. I was like, why did you do this?
This is disgusting, huh?
10,000 chickens.
10,000.
So we had that little excursion.
Boy, people make it in all kinds of ways, don't they?
Yeah.
Gee,
Yeah.
think of that. That is, of course, unless you lived in a place like Hinckley or wherever, you'd never hear anything about something like that.
Right.
But,
Well, I mean, who would think that out of the Mojave Desert comes all this alfalfa?
right.
And everyone around there, as far as we knew, was growing alfalfa,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
with deep wells into the river basin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron Brockovich and everything, yeah. All the water things.
Well, and then there was that, remember that toxic plume that infested part of Hinckley?
Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot
My John, Grandpa John.
Uh-huh.
Of course, he got cancer, and he and the family pretty much attributed it to his exposure to that
Oh, really? Yeah.
that toxic waste.
Did he ever get any compensation on that? Did the family?
I think there was some. I don't think it was a ton, but I think there was some.
Yeah.
But they did go to court. I went to court.
Oh,
I
okay.
went and testified.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, about the irrigation stuff they did. I mean, what did I know? But they did call me in as a witness.
Hmm.
Yeah. All you wanted to do was make sure you helped and didn't hurt anything, by saying stuff on the stand.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, I gotta move. My butt's going to sleep. Ah. But then, I was called, I told you, I was called to court to testify.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen until we had moved, well, I'd been living in Reno for years and years, and I got a phone call off from Jan,
Uh-huh.
and she told me I was going to get subpoenaed
Oh, okay.
to go to court for the water issue in Hinkley. And I went, and I testified,
Hmm.
and I told them about the green water and the toilet and that kind of stuff. It was all full of chemicals.
Yeah. Wow.
From the PG&E people, I guess. So, that was I don't know if anybody got paid a lot of money or anything for it, but it was an educational experience to
Yeah.
go do that. Yeah. To go get testifying, get subpoenaed, go sit there for a couple of days, wait for them to call your name,
Wondering what they're going to ask you.
wondering what they're going to ask you, and if you know the answer, or if they're going to throw you out as an imposter, because that's what you feel like. It's like, why am I?
Is it going to be a trick question?
Yeah, that will blow the whole case sky high, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, I
You
mentioned.
could have gotten called to court too, because you lived in Hinkley. You drank the water.
Yeah, but as I remember, the plume didn't reach where we were.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It actually was more toward the Spess
The
farm and
ranch.
that. Yeah.
That's why I was involved with whatever.
Yeah.
Was because of the ranch. Being there with my little, with Marie, she was a little baby,
Yeah.
living in the ranch house.
Well, when you remember, I mentioned that pen that I built for those two pigs.
Uh-huh.
And I raised those pigs, and the intent was I would take them down to the county fair, San Bernardino County Fair,
Uh-huh.
and show them and sell them. Well, I got them down there, and they both fell in between classes, and I couldn't show either one of them. And
Oh.
so I just had a week's vacation down at the fair. But I sold one to a butcher in Barstow, the Neal family, because I knew his son Ron, and so Ron talked his dad into buying one of the pigs,
Uh-huh.
and then Jim and I butchered the other one with Jim's dad's help. He
I
told
was
us
going to say that would have been a hair-raising
it was
experience.
New Year's Day. We were both hungover,
Oh, how awful.
and that's the day we had set, to butcher this pig. And so Jake came down, Jim's dad, and he walked us through everything and helped us butcher that pig.
Oh, my goodness sake.
So, but anyway,
That's a life-changing experience
Yeah.
right there.
later, like that, I don't know if it was the same year or the year next year, Jim had won a calf at the state fair, and or at the county fair, and so he made arrangements for the calf to be dropped off at the school agriculture farm, and Mr. McKendrick told him he could only keep the calf there for a very short period of time. Then he had to take it somewhere, do something with it. He couldn't leave it there at the farm. And so we decided that for the time being, we would take it to the pen that I had built for the pigs, that he and I had built for the pigs. And we decided to walk the calf from the school to the house. It's 10 miles. And we walked this calf
Oh my God.
10 miles.
That is a story right there.
Yeah.
That
And
is
so
a story.
the whole time, I have never learned to whistle like this, real loud.
Yeah.
And Jim was trying to teach me how to whistle. And that whole 10 miles, I practiced and never could get it right.
Oh my gosh.
So, I was walking. Oh, and then he named the calf 10 Miler. And the next year, he took it to the fair and sold it.
Gosh.
So,
Oh my God. What a story.
yeah, that was.
Oh, John, these are priceless. These little antidotes and whatever they
Yeah.
are. Write it down. Really, write it down. Those things they're warm your heart.
Well, that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, you can.
One way or the other, yeah.
It's publishable stuff. People will read it. It's incredible. It's incredible. Think of that. Think of that. Think of those two boys and a calf. That poor calf. Little did he know, and he was probably so cute. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was an experience.
I remember the pork.
Yeah.
I do. It was good.
Yeah. Jim and I, had a lot of good experiences. And, he died of diabetes
Oh really?
at a really young age, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, drop him a note. Really, those are. Then you have to put it in paper. In honor of Jim, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Honest to God, those are tales to be told. Those are interesting, exciting tales.
Yeah, I got involved in some interesting stuff. When we were in Idaho Falls, I was going to the nuclear power school there,
Mhm.
and a bunch of us decided that you work 8-hour day shift, and then you had like 2 days off, and then you work an evening shift, and then you'd have 3 days off, and then you'd work a midnight shift, and then you'd have 5 days off. And you just kept repeating that cycle through your whole training. And so a bunch of us guys got together, and we decided that on our long 5-day off, we were going to go up to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. There's a dam there. I think it's called Palisades Dam. I'm not quite sure of the name. And we were going to put in rafts at the dam and float all the way down
Well, yeah.
to Idaho Falls.
Makes sense.
So that was our plan. Well, it turned out that one of the rafts had a leak in it. So that slowed us down, and I was in the raft that had a leak. And so what would happen in these inflatable rafts is you would lose air, and your body just sort of sinks. So pretty soon you're dry,
Right.
but the
But
raft is
there's
around you like an inner tube.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of us in this raft.
Oh my goodness.
And it turned out I was the only married guy in the group, but the other raft went ahead and went to the pickup point. And they got there, it was dark already, and their girlfriends and Jan was wondering where the other 3 were. They said, we don't know. And so they drove along the river, and we're up on this ridge, and we had lost so much air that we couldn't pump it back up again. And we had to put in, and it turned out we pulled in shore on an island. We thought it was land, but it was an
great.
island.
Just great.
So we said, wait a minute, we walked across this little small island, And we said, okay, there's the river, there's the land, let's go to that. So we put it in the water again, still with not much air. Went across, and then it turned out it was on another island. So we finally decided we need to stay here, stay put, build a fire, and hope someone comes.
Okay.
So eventually the other crew found us, and they said, we'll go get help, we'll get the sheriff, and we'll get somebody to get you out of there. So the sheriff comes, and he's up on this bluff hollering at us, are you okay? Yes, we're okay. He said, well, you're going to stay there all night. So we spent the night, no food, no water.
Oh
I think
God.
we all smoked. We probably had cigarettes.
the essentials.
Yeah, but other than that, so we spent the night there. The next morning, they brought a big power boat up and rescued us.
You must have been so glad to see that powerboat.
Yeah.
That's an adventure right there.
Yeah. I remember Jan later told me that the girlfriends were all upset and worried. She says, I'm married and got 2 kids.
Yeah, what are you worried about? This is so good because it brings to memory some of those people
Uh-huh.
that you don't normally think about, but that deserve to be remembered every so often.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It brings them back, brings the whole memory back, and feels good to remember them.
Now, did you get a chance to spend a lot of time down at the river with Ray and Deanie, or?
No, not nearly what I wish we had.
Yeah.
Tony and I went down and spent a weekend with them
Mm-hmm.
on the river before, and we've got some photographs. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah?
if you've ever seen them. They're slides.
Huh.
Yeah, and you were down there with Mark, weren't you?
Huh?
Weren't you down there when Mark was down there? You guys were swimming in pools.
I don't remember being around Mark very much at all. I'm not sure I ever was.
Really? Let's see, who would he been? I guess his boys, Eric and Ian were there. We took them. We had
Yeah,
a good
see,
time.
the last time I spent any amount of time with Ray and Deanie was actually when JFK was assassinated.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was that far back.
Wow.
I mean, that's the marker in my head. And then the other times I would visit them, like they were they were scattered around, and
So did you visit them when they were doing the gold thing?
just once, yeah. And I didn't even spend the night. I just went down for a day.
Did you ever have Ray, we all sat around the dining room table, the little kitchen table they had, and he would first pull out the revolver and lay it on the table, and then he would pull out the bag of nuggets that he found that day and dump them all
Oh my
on
gosh,
the table.
yeah.
That was mind-blowing, completely mind-blowing.
Yeah,
Thousands of dollars worth of nuggets, I'm sure.
right.
Just, massive amounts that you couldn't even fathom in
Well,
your mind.
Well, and he would take it down and sell it on the black market.
Oh, of course.
I
of
heard
course
those
he did all
stories.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he would show us, and one of his introductions to Tony and Ray was we were there visiting them at their little house in Grass Valley, and he did that. He pulled out the revolver and laid it on the table, and then he pulled out the nuggets, piled them down on the table, and we just thought, ooh, you know.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, don't touch it. Oh yeah, that was something. I'm actually so proud I get to tell and remember that I had a family who had these unreal experiences like that.
Yeah.
Where Ray and they took their kids, their 5 kids, little biddies,
Right.
down to the river. Down we go. Summer's here. School's over with, as far as Dee's concerned. And, oh no, she did. Until school was out, she would drive them every day. Where did they sleep? It was this unreal plan they had. It's like they slept in a car in a gas station or something. She and her 5 kids. They would sleep there, get up in the morning and have I don't know what, piece of rainbow bread and a Velveeta cheese, whatever they ate, you know. She'd feed them a little food, and then she'd drop them off at school. And that was right over here in Nevada City.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, they would, she'd drop them off at school. And she'd pick them up, and she'd take them home, and they'd do the same thing. They did it. Yeah, they did it. That was their life. I wonder what their recollection would be. Mine was of amazement because I had 5 kids and Mike was divorced. My God, they're all going to school.
Right.
Everything's going to be hunky-dory. We're not, don't you be crossing my path because I don't want to deal with you, my kids, you know. No, I was nicer than that. But that was their life. They had a different life. Those would be, Deanna would be the one. Lou, of course, you know Lou.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, last I heard, still driving trucks.
I think she's not anymore.
Okay, so maybe she got to.
Yeah, because I think of health issues, but I'm not quite sure about
Yeah,
that.
I'm going to say she hurt her back and she had to retire. That's what my guess is for a truck driver.
Yeah.
She was a character.
Well, you know, Ray, all by himself, had a really interesting life. He was a race car driver. You know, he drove quarter midgets.
See, now I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, he did that. He got out of it, he said, because he was doing really well and running up in points that one particular year. This guy forced him through a wall and broke his arms, so he decided to get out of the racing business. But you know, he was in the Army at the Battle of the Bulge.
I know. I did not know about the Battle of the Bulge until Dee told me that.
Yeah.
When I don't know, when somebody maybe at Ray's funeral. I don't know. Anyway, yes.
Yeah. So there was just some interesting things. I mean, the guy did a lot of interesting things, and I mean, look at the places he lived in Arizona. You know, these little mining towns, and then he would go around and stake uranium claims and that sort of stuff. You know.
He had a big heart.
Yeah.
Big heart. He took us kids.
Yeah.
Drug us. I mean, he didn't drag us. We went willingly.
Right.
Took us everywhere. I can tell Tony places when we go to Arizona and poke around.
Yeah.
I can say, my
Been
uncle
here.
brought us there.
Yeah.
My brother and I were here with my uncle, you know. That's a gift. It's a gift
Yeah.
that we got to experience that with him.
And he was so talented at so many things.
Yeah.
He was a great mechanic, you know, a welder. It had to do it. I mean, look, he built that boat, you know, in his backyards.
And of course, everybody, the minute he started building it, we all thought he was nuts.
Yeah.
like, oh good, he's building a boat in the backyard now. What is it gonna be next?
And it was all self-taught. I mean, that's the other thing that I thought was amazing about him. He would go to the library and do research, you know? I mean, that's how he figured out where to go look for particular kinds of claims, you know, uranium and gold and that kind of stuff, based on the
And he had-
geology of the area.
Yeah, what else did he find? Those purple.
Oh, agates? Or not agates,
Agates?
but,
What's the
well,
name?
agates, yeah, because they were the ones where the rocks were round and you crack them open
They
and,
just
yeah.
shatter. Yeah. And, well, I'm gonna say geodes. I know geodes are in it.
yeah, geo's probably the right word, I think, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he knew all that stuff, and he understood, you know, how it was made, geologically, how this stuff came about. And so he would research where to go, you know, what the geology of the area was, and then go there and say, well, I should find some uranium samples around here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just,
I got to blow Tony's mind a few times when we would be in the area, driving around,
Mhm.
Flagstaffing in there, and say, I lived here for a whole summer in Happy Jack.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Who else can say that? He was in, you know, Marin County, being a little white collar boy. Not me. I was out having adventures.
Well,
We were
then
having
Stovall,
adventures.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the other place in Arizona.
Oh, come on. It's not Stovall. It's coming to me. Look it up. Quick.
Let's see what it says. That didn't work. Ah. Well, there is a Stovall, Arizona, but it doesn't give me a map, so I can't tell. Yeah, it'd be better to look on a computer because we could see it. It's trying to give me directions how to get there from here.
From Flagstaff. Oh, from here?
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna make another bathroom break.
Ow, he says my back hurts. Hey, Joey.